Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. I just got back from Card Party, a card convention in Seattle, and we purchased a bunch of really cool Pokemon cards, and I wanted to do a little experiment today. Obviously, Pokemon cards are very expensive. I wanted to ask you guys, would you rather have the graded cards on my left, or would you rather have the singles on my right? Because both of these essentially cost pretty much the same amount of money. So let's start with the graded cards, because we got 3 graded cards. Wow, a whopping whole entire 3 graded Pokemon cards. We got ourselves a Prismatic Evolutions ETB PSA 10 promo card, the Sleepy Eevee from the Prismatic Evolution ETB. This card I think is currently going for right around maybe $150. We also got ourselves the Ens Reshiram from the Journey Together booster box, the box topper Ens Reshiram. Very popular card right now. I think this card in the PSA 10 is roughly maybe like $250 right now. And we got ourselves the Magneton or Magneton Searching Sparks ETB promo card from drawn by artist Shinji Kanda. A really cool card, and this card in a PSA 10 I think is currently going for maybe also $125 or so. So these 3 cards combined are roughly right around $500. And instead of purchasing these 3 cards, or I mean I did purchase these 3 cards, but for the same price as these 3 cards, you can purchase pretty much this whole entire stack of singles. And both of these roughly cost right around $500 today. And I wanted to ask you guys which you'd rather have. So we're going to be going over some of these singles. And I think a lot of people do think Pokemon cards has gotten very expensive. And it is true, there are quite a few expensive cards out there. But there are also a ton of really affordable singles. I mean, some of these singles literally cost me less than the cost of a single booster pack. And there's a bunch of really cool singles in here. The Latias was cool, the Snover is cute, the Braviary right here is just this is just such a good looking art piece, you know. Murga, guys. And we also got tons and tons of really cool illustration rares. And yeah, this whole entire pile of illustration rares, trainer gallery cards, and alt art cards cost me about the same price as $500. So instead of getting 3 PSA 10s, you could pick up all of the singles. And I wanted to see if you guys thought which would be better. And there is no right or wrong answer. If you prefer the graded cards, you can prefer the graded cards. But I will say that I'm biased towards just collecting more cards rather than less. So this massive pile of cards is just really cool to me, and I would personally value this massive pile of cards over 3 graded cards any day, depending on those 3 graded cards. But these are not special graded cards, right? It's literally the Ens Reshiram box topper from Journey Together. I was giving away plenty of copies of these cards, you know. These cards are not super special. These are just the ETB promo cards or the booster box promo cards. And I was giving away tons of copies of these cards at the release of Prismatic and Journey Together and whatnot. So they're not super crazy cards is what I'm saying. And for these cards to be that valuable in a PSA 10 is just, wow, really bonkers to me. I did purchase them at the end of the day. Purchased these from my friend, the Boba Store, who was vending at Card Party. And that's all live stream. So if you want to watch my live stream with me purchasing these cards, doing a coin flip for these cards, you can watch that on my live stream. And if you liked some of these singles that we're showing off in today's video, or I guess these graded cards, I think they're going to go up for $1 auction start later today on September 10th. I think our live stream is going to start at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to do singles night tonight, where I'm just going to be auctioning off a ton of really awesome singles for $1 auction start. And that's actually a great way to just collect cards in the hobby. Instead of purchasing a ton of booster packs or buying a booster box at $300, which I think we are also going to be, this is a bit of a spoiler, but I am also going to be auctioning off some Mega Evolution booster boxes at $1 auction start, which is really crazy. But instead of purchasing a booster box, you could just purchase yourself a ton of singles, you know, instead of spending yourself close to $500 on a Destined Rivals booster box. You could pick up every one of these cards on this table right here. Well, not the graded cards, but every one of the singles. All of these singles are pretty much going to cost you about the same price as a single Destined Rivals booster box, guys. That's how bonkers the singles market is. And it's really showcase how far you can go collecting if you're willing to pick up singles. You know, this Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon trio, I think these 3 cards combined cost me like $40. half the price of a Destined Rivals ETB. And yeah, I think singles are still the absolute way to go when it comes to getting a really awesome haul. So my goal with this card show was to get as large of a compilation of awesome cards as I can for the lowest price as I can. So I was absolutely haggling with a bunch of different vendors. And if you watch my live stream, you can actually watch me haggle to try to negotiate some prices down and get better and better deals. That's what we do as collectors, is we try to make our money stretch as far as possible. But I did get pretty far. And I think realistically, these cards are probably valued at more than $500, but I didn't spend that much on them, which is pretty cool. You know, a lot of vendors are willing to work with you, especially if you're making a large purchase, right? No reason they can't. And yeah, some of these cards were viewer suggested. So a viewer actually told me, hey, picking up this Toad Scroll is cool. And I was like, okay. It maybe not a card I would normally pick up, but if the viewer says, hey, why not? Then I don't see a reason why I can't. And yeah, this giant pile of top-loaded singles, we're still going. We're still going, guys. Like, we're probably about halfway through the pile of singles. All of these singles combined are going to cost you about the same price as these 3 graded cards. That's just absolutely wild to me. Because this is such a good collection, you know. If you went to a card show and this was your haul back today, I think you did very well for the price that you paid, you know. This is just a massive collection. And there are probably some of these cards are PSA 10 worthy, you know. Like, some of these cards are grade worthy. Probably not all of them, but some of them are. And oh, look at that. We got ourselves a Magneton right here. We probably picked up this raw for maybe like $8. And yeah, the PSA 10 version is going for like $125. We bought both, but obviously if you just want to make your money stretch, just don't pick up the graded version. You do not have to pick up the graded version. There are plenty of awesome, great looking singles out there that are just pennies on the dollars in terms of how expensive they are. And yeah, we're going to have some of these cards up for $1 auction later today. I'm excited to see what those go for. I think $1 auction is the most fair way to sell something because, you know, the market decides. The market decides how expensive some cards are. Obviously, if there's some really desirable cards, it might go for above market. Sometimes cards go for a bidding war where 2 people really want a card. That's cool too. And if not, some cards go for under market. That's how auctions work. And I think it's a lot of fun. So check out my live stream later today. If you sign up using the link down in the description, then you get yourself $15 off to spend on the show or just to buy some booster packs from me directly. Why not? It's $15 free credit. I think it's absolutely worth it. So yeah, I think personally for me, this massive stack of singles is better than 3 graded cards. These 3 graded cards specifically, I ended up buying both. But if I had to pick, it would be no contest. I think this massive piles of top-loaded cards would easily win over, we definitely have some duplicates, but you can tell that I have a taste for certain cards just because I think some of these cards are underrated. I think this Brexen and this Banette are currently going for $3 to $4, maybe even less than that. And I think these are underrated. They're trainer gallery cards. They are good-looking art pieces, and they're going for $3 to $4 from out-of-print sets like Astral Radiance and Silver Tempest and Lost Origin. These are great pickup, you know. No contest on that at all. Lots of great-looking illustration rares. Well, we got ourselves an empty street here. That is crazy. Not a Pokemon in sight. So yeah, what do you guys think? Would you rather pick up all of these singles, or would you rather have these 3 graded Pokemon cards, you know? These 3 specific graded Pokemon cards. Or this massive stack of singles right here. All of these cards. Like, this is not even all of them. I can't even hold them all in my hand because I can't. My hand can't fit them all. I have tiny hands. But check out all these illustration rares and trainer gallery cards. All for the price of $500, roughly. You know, I'll have to do the math to make sure that I paid actually around that amount. But I'm pretty confident this was how much I paid for all of these singles. And yeah, it's crazy to me that this massive stack is what you can get for the same price as, you know, a couple of random graded cards. Don't worry too much about the numbers, but it really goes to showcase how different the hobby can be, whether you buy graded cards or just pick up singles. And I think singles is still the way to go with this massive stack. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are comparatively, which one of these are better, or just you know, a better option if you're a new collector or someone that just wants a lot of value for your collection. I think it's no contest. Let me know what your thoughts are. It might be a heated debate. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in my live stream, and I'll see you guys next time.